Now can incorporate a lot more speed rushes than I have been in the previous times, and just being more articulated with my hand work. You know what I'm saying? I've spent a lot of time just working on my footwork, working on my hand fights and stuff like that. So just switching it up is definitely going to be good for me. And depending on which rush I need to do, I won't have to use as much energy bull rushing through somebody rather than me just going through with a speed rush.
Plays happen so fast at the college level.
Yeah.
I know in high school guys say one move and you're either in or you're out.
Yeah.
In college, do you have time to move and counter, or is it happening too quick?
Oh yeah, you definitely have time to move and to go and counter, but the thing is, it happens so quick. You have to make a decision. If you're going to do it, you better do it. If not, then you're going to get hit with some trouble, And so, everybody with college, man, you got a lot of great guys. You got a lot of talented guys, whether that's in the ACC or any other conference that we step into. They're athletes too. Offensive linemen, they're athletes too. And so, if I'm going to make a move, I have to make it right now, because if I don't, I'm probably going to get messed up by the guard if I try to counter back inside, or the tackle's going to put me on an island. So I got to make my decision quick.
You mentioned you and Ashton and kind of the sack race, and that's the statistic, right, that everybody's got their eyes on. Mm-hmm. Do people understand, though, how hard it is to actually finish the play with a sack, like not just 100%. Pressure?
Man, I wish I could say it's easy to get a sack, but then I'd be lying to every single last one of y'all. It's definitely one of those things, like, to be honest with you, if you look at all the sacks that has happened, not only in my career or Ashton's career, but anybody at edge rushing position or any D lineman, it's always happening off of second effort rush. Like, you see those good moves that you can get off the rib where you just get there and you get a clean sack, but a lot of the times it's just off of pure effort. It's off of that second move, it's off of that counter move, it's off of a move that didn't work initially, so you have to hurry up and go with a second one, and then you can finally get to the quarterback. It's like a game of chess out there. You got to really take a gamble, for sure.
And do you have a sack in your career that was respectfully bogus, like quarterback tripped over the center's foot and you're there to touch him up? Do you have one like that?
No, but I will say there was one against Duke where they should have gave me a strip sack fumble and they said it was an incomplete pass. I do remember that one. That was very bogus. That would have put me at 9.5, but they pulled it back, and I was so mad at them for that.
Awesome.
You consider yourself a linebacker or a defensive end?
Both. I consider myself a hybrid, so I say outside linebacker, DN, but I know for a lot of people they say edge rusher, so I also say that as well. I can be very versatile for whichever one.
What does your bracelet say?
Which one I got?
The friendship one there?
Oh, so this one says keep chopping. This is actually something that my dad has always said to me when I was younger. This is one of my teammates, Jabari Ritz. He's actually made it for me for my birthday, so shout out to him. But keep chopping is just a mantra. Just you got to keep pushing. You got to keep going because life is full of ups and downs. You never know what you're going to get hit with. But regardless of what it is, whether it's good, the bad, the ugly, you got to keep chopping. You got to keep going because it just shows the resiliency that I have in myself, and I feel like resiliency for a lot of people should have. So this is kind of like what I preach. It can kind of go alongside the Rut the Butcher mantra as well. But just to I look at it every day. Just keep chopping, keep going, because God's going to show favor to you for whoever stays steadfast in the faith. So.
And you said Jabari Ritz.
Jabari Ritz, yeah, number 5. He made it for me.
Has he made it for any other bracelets for other teammates? Or?
Not that I know of, but I know he just made this for me, and then of course some other ones. He made this one, my favorite verse, and the Butcher one. So shout out to him. He made some thoughtful gifts for me, so I appreciate it from that.
When you look back in the last year or so, what work can you kind of point to say, this is how I've turned into one of the better defensive guys in the conference?
I don't really think I can just point out any specific area or game of that situation. I feel like for me it was more just a maturity thing. I think it was more of a confidence thing. Just over time, I think I can more pick out as the years went on more so than just particular games from last season, because I feel like confidence is something that I needed to really start incorporating in terms of how I step into each and every game. Not saying I've never stepped into a game where I didn't bet on myself every single time, but I also felt like there were times where I should have hit a move. I did a lot of second guessing, and this past year I didn't do a lot of that. So with me coming off of this last year, not doing a lot of second guessing, and going into this year where essentially Coach Collins is allowing me to go make a play, be a playmaker. I think that's going to really work to my advantage, and I'm looking forward to progressing. Even though that I'm in my 5th year, that doesn't mean I'm just complacent with how I did last year. I want to keep on going.
So how did you see that confidence making a difference on the field?
It's just allowed me to be more comfortable with who I am as a pass rusher. They recruited me to be a pass rusher. They recruited me to be an edge rusher. Not only am I good in the pass game, but I'm also good in the run game as well. So just understanding is be who you recruited, be as what they recruited you for. Just be the person that this defense needs you to be. If they see me as a dominant player, then that's exactly what I'm going to be. I see myself as dominant, I see myself as versatile, and I see myself as a play disruptor. So if I see myself as those things, then I got to live up to that.
You mentioned Coach Collins. How has he made an impact on the defense so far?
He's brought a lot of energy and a lot of aggressiveness. He's brought a lot of energy for our guys, especially for us. Like, we got a lot of dogs on defense, and so like we can't just be passive. We can't just be like, we got to play a certain situation to where like, we got to like not bring in simulated blitzes, or we can't do this, that, and the third. Like, I feel like for him, it's just like he's going to put people in a situation to make plays, and I feel like that's what Coach Collins has brought. He's brought the standard. He's set the bar for us to be the best defense in college football, and I feel like that's the mantra that we need to hold on to, and I feel like everybody's hanging their hat on, and I feel like now that we set that standard, set that bar, now we have something that we can reach towards as the year progresses.
Yeah, and then with Coach Collins' new system and kind of the difference he's brought in this year, how confident are you that you feel like the defense can actually win some games itself this year and, rely less on the offense having to go out there and score and, put points?
No, I'm very confident, because it's just like, not even for me, it's just like for the other 10 guys that I'm lining up against, lining with, man, they're gonna, Coach Collins is not just here just to set me up. He's setting everybody up, because the thing is with communicating, there's no such thing as over communicating on both sides of the ball, offense nor defense. You have to communicate always, and so he's making it into a situation where the play calling is easy to comprehend, but you have to do your part. You have to communicate. You have to know where you got to be, and not only do you not only have to know your job, you have to know everybody else's. And so I feel like with that, it's holding us to a professional standard, because it's not just us just doing our job. You have to make sure that everybody else is doing their job, so not only are they successful, but you're successful as well.
And this have a lot of older. Yeah, but this being a big year for you, I know, as far as pro aspirations, changing your number to 7.
Yeah.
You're coming into a bigger role as a leadership role. Kind of, what do you kind of hope to see out of yourself as far as production and your impact on this defense this year? I see myself increasing in the terms of leadership skills that I've lacked last year, and of course, just still being me. I just feel like I feel like a confident me is the best me. And like I said previously, it's just like, I feel like confidence is something that I lacked in my game for a very long stint of my time in college. And so, like, discovering that last year, just staying confident, staying firm in my faith, and just understanding that I know that as long as I take care of the things that I need to take care of, God is going to provide for not only myself and for the brothers around me and my family. So just staying firm in that, I feel like that's what's going to lead me to have a very successful year.
But you guys have quite a few older, vocal guys on defense. I was just talking to Power. Because he's a linebacker and makes all the calls, he says this is his defense.
Yeah.
Is this his defense?
It's his defense, man. I'm just one of the guys. It's just like, I know we're both on the leadership council and things of that nature, but the thing is, just as much he's a leader, I'm a leader. I'm following his lead, and as much as he's following mine, there's not really a hierarchy of like who's the leader, who's not the leader. It's just that we're all leaders. Even when you're on the leadership council, and the winner that you're not, we can all, if we're all taking care of business, we can all lead each other to where we want to be. We can all lead each other to the promised land. So if this is Power's defense, and that's his, and I'm just going to handle my business. I'm going to handle what I need to do across the defensive line. If I need to hold everybody else accountable on all over levels of the defense, then let it be. But I know it's just like for Power, he's going to lead us in the right direction. He's going to make calls. He's going to make plays just as much as the other 10 guys that's going to be around him.
He said Cedric passed the torch.
Yeah.
And you go back to when you guys returned and started working out in January, where you are now. How have you seen Power kind of embrace that? He's not going to be Cedric, they're different people.
Yeah. But
how have you seen him kind of embrace that and morph into that role?
Well, to be honest with you, I don't feel like Power has changed too much. Like, even though there's like a figurative passing the torch, it's just like one of those things to where like Power has always been a leader. He's always been a guy that brought energy. He's always been a guy to, if you want to play to happen, you're going to count on him to make it. And so for him now, it's just like this is what he's been doing ever since he got here to UNC. And so, with him, like what said, passing the torch to him officially, man, I feel like that just really just gave him the keys to continue what he's doing, if not more. And I'm really excited to see how he's going to have more of a productive year this year than he did in the past.
What went into deciding on this ensemble?
Say it again?
What went into deciding on this ensemble you're wearing? Especially the glasses.
I mean, this is something that I just had a vision, and Connor Harrell's dad, Marvin Harrell, he actually he actually tailored suits and things of that nature, and he actually designed this for me. So he saw my vision and he made it happen. So shout out to him. He's the one that really put this piece together. So
can we get a breakdown, because I can't see your shoes?
Okay. So this is pinstripe from the jacket down, white undershirt. We got a Tissot watch right here, two-tone. Just a little diamond necklace right here, and I actually have kind of like a light brown pointed toe loafer right here.
What about the frames?
If I'm gonna be honest, I got them off Amazon because I'm not finna be spending that type of money. So I can still style and profile without having to spend a whole bunch of money. So the most expensive thing on me is my actual suit. But besides that, yeah, that's pretty much a breakdown.
For you guys to go from being a 4-4 ACC team to a title contender team in the league, where does that improvement have to come from?
Say that question one more time.
To go from being a 4-4 ACC team like we were last year to contending for the title, where does that improvement have to come from? How does that team get?
I think it's a team thing. Honestly, I feel like just all across the board, we have to make sure that we got to take care of business on both sides. So for us, it's just like we lacked aggression in the past. So now we got aggression. Now we got to make sure not only do we have this aggression, but we have to make sure we communicate with this aggression now. Like if we're going to be handed the keys to the car, then we got to be trusted that we can drive it now. And the same thing with offense. The same thing. We got to communicate heavily. There's a lot of different ways where like even with Amarion, even though he was one of our workhorses last year, we got to spread the load across everybody else. But I know it starts up front, and I know the O-line has gotten a lot better. I'm really excited to see how they're going to progress this year. But I just feel like on both sides of the ball, in order for this shit to keep rolling, man, we got to understand like we have to work together at this, and I feel like we can genuinely achieve that from being a 4-4 in the ACC to a championship contending team.
You played a lot of snaps last year. A lot of guys played a lot of snaps, and Coach Brown just talked about trying to play more people so you don't have to play as many. Do you think that was a factor late in games, and that also late in the season for you guys, and will that help?
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of different instances where we should have played a lot more guys. I mean, I know I played a lot of snaps, but there was a lot of guys that were alongside with me that could have played a lot more as well. But I know a lot of your better teams have teams that can roll in deep, or it's like 2-3 rolls deep. And so with us, we have to also adopt that as well, because we can't if we can't have the season, we can't make it as long as the season as long as we make it and play the same guys over and over and over. We have to have guys that we can rely on. And so I feel like with Coach really taking that ownership and understanding like, hey, we need to play more guys, but that also puts the accountability on us to understand the plays. Like if we are going to play guys, we're going to roll in like 2-3 depth deep, then you have to know your plays as well. You have to know what you got going on, because if you don't know what you're doing, then we can't trust you. So we have to also have that sense of accountability, me holding my position group and other people on the defense accountable so they can also play, and it gives me a breather, and vice versa for whoever else is in.
Switching from 25 to number 7 this year, what went into that decision, and kind of the connection with your father?
Yeah, so 7 has always been a number that I've enjoyed. I know I remember wearing 7 my junior year of high school, and due to like a cultural thing that my high school had, I switched to number 1. But 7 is always something that I've wanted in college, but obviously due to the fact that I was an underclassman and of course D lineman, they don't really get a lot of single numbers. I waited my turn and got 25. And what got into it is just like, I know when I chose 7 in high school, my dad, when he first started playing football, his first number was 75. And that was the whole reason I wanted to play in honor of my dad. And so it was just like, I either had to choose 5 or 7, and I like 7 better. And so I chose 7. And now that fast forward just a few years later, 7 opened up, and I was just like, shoot, I got to get 7 in. And plus, obviously, honestly, even in the word it says that 7 is the number of completion. And so I'm in my last year. This is my last one. So it's only complete that I wear 7 on my way out. So
Kaimon, you got a little keep chopping.
Yep.
What does that mean to you, and just the significance of that?
It resembles the resiliency that I have to have throughout my life. I know even being recruited as a high schooler, I was doubted, I was overlooked because of my height, and so it was a very frustrating time. And Coach Brown took a shot on me when a lot of the other teams didn't. And even just now, whether I'm getting tried by my faith or when life when life starts lifing, essentially. It's like I got to remind myself I got to keep chopping. I have to keep going because, as long as I'm doing what I need to do according to my faith, I know God's gonna have me, and not only myself, but my family and my friends that are around me. So it is a constant reminder just to keep going, just to give me that extra motivation when I wake up and when I go to sleep at night. It's always to keep chopping, to keep pushing, just to show that resiliency as I keep on going day to day.
How long have you worn that?
I worn it. I got it as a gift. I've been wearing it since my birthday, which was February 28th. So I've been wearing it ever since. I don't think I've taken it off yet.
But you've had that motto before.
I've heard that motto. Yeah, that motto came from my father when I was a young age, and now to have it on my wrist, it means a lot more.
Kaimon, can you give me your best Mac Brown impression?
Now, why in God's name are you going to set me up? Now, why would you do
come
that?
on, man.
Where's he at? He over there?
There are 110 players on this team.
Well, guys, I just appreciate you all for being here. Y'all are just wonderful people. I love you so much just to be here at ACC Kickoff. You guys are just amazing and beautiful people. I just love each and every one of you. I'm just so proud of our team. Just getting through COVID, just understand we got some great, smart guys, and for them to come over here, it's just amazing. So I appreciate you all.
That's good.
Excellent.
Now Mac Brown in practice with that little.
If he catches me doing that, I'm done for it. I'm done for it.
Since the defensive changes with the coaching staff and stuff, what are the biggest differences you've noticed with your guys?
Honestly, just how locked in we were this year. Not knocking on all the other years that we weren't locked in, but it's just like there's a different attitude in the air in Chapel Hill with our football team. There's like a different mentality that our guys have picked up, and even the guys that we asked a lot out of last year that stepped up into their role this year, just in terms of leadership and determination and their willingness to know like we can be the best. And I feel like once you set the vision, once you set the standard, then it's easy for a lot of guys to follow suit and to really adopt that. And so with Coach Collins bringing in saying that we want to be the best defense in college football, we have had a lot of guys to really take on that mantra and really believe it. And now that everybody believes it, now we got to see it and put it to work. And, I feel like when we've done that, I've seen a lot of guys take that maturity step, that next step forward and where we needed them to be. And it's a beautiful sight to see. I'm really excited to see how this defense continues to progress. I know we're going into fall camp on Sunday, so I'm really ready to see how this defense rolls into action going into fall camp.
If you've gotten to play college football 25, what has the experience been like for you as one of the top-ranked players?
It's a blessing. I didn't really think I was going to be on a video game this soon in my life. But it's an honor and a privilege. They did me justice. I didn't think I was going to be ranked this high. I thought I was going to be like a mid-80s, like 85, 86. So for them to rank me as a 91, it's a blessing. So I appreciate every moment, and I do play with UNC quite a bit. So I'm enjoying the game a lot.
How accurate do you think it is to actual game day?
I think it's too accurate in a lot of different ways. I've had my rage quits. I've had my situations to where like I have had missed snaps and busted coverages and things of that nature. I've gotten very frustrated with the game, but I mean, if this is how a fan feels with college football, then I feel it for you now.
Kaimon, when you look across the roster, whether it be offense or defense, position group or certain players, who you see with the potential to kind of have a breakout year as far as guys we're not really talking about yet?
Honestly, two guys that come to mind off the jump is Bo Atkinson and Jordan Shipp. I really think those guys are going to have really breakout years. I know for both of them, they got some age, some guys that's been playing a good amount of college football in front of them. But I know the second that they step on the field, all they're going to do is produce. And so these guys are going to put up numbers. I'm really excited to see how both of them step into their big roles this year, because I feel like I know for Jordan, with him being an early enrollee freshman, man, I know he can step in and make an impact the second that he touches the field. And Bo, he's played a good amount of games. And I know with him, he has improved in so many different ways, not only physically, but mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. And I know he can definitely be a game changer for us. And I can't wait to see both of them ball out this year.
You talked about the defense under Coach Collins now, and not bagging on the past. How personal is it for you guys as a defense this year to take a step, maybe a leap?
Yeah, no, this is personal for real. Like this is I feel like the defense is playing with a chip on their shoulder this year, and I feel like this is something that we needed to be playing with for a very long period of time, and I feel like we have, but now we have a coach that also feels the same way, and so I feel like riding that chariot and feeling like we got something to prove, we got a point to prove this year, not only on the defensive side but offensive side. I know you particularly defense, but as a total team, I feel like it can really take us to the next level and where we want to be, and that's to be the best defense in college football.
Is that coming from within? Is that coming from Coach Collins? Is that some of everybody? I mean, how does it?
The standard came from Coach Collins, and now everybody has adopted it as his own. Now we know that we need to be the best defense in college football, and we believe that, and we see that. Now we have to really incorporate the talent and the hard work and put it together and put it on paper so we can start stacking dubs on top of each other.
How good can this team be? Defense, offense, special teams, everything.
We can be great, but we're only going to be as great as we make it out to be. And I'm really excited to see, because I feel like a lot of guys on this team really want to be great. And, I'm just really excited to see how the season turns out. This is going to be a really exciting year, not only for myself, but for the rest of the UNC football team.
After last season, what did you take away from that, and what did you work on to improve for this season and get ready for this season?
We didn't finish the way that we wanted to finish last year, and that's okay. Life is all about ups and downs, and so is college football. It's a lot of wins and a lot of losses, but the thing is, either that you win or you lose, you got to learn from it. It's a life lesson learned. It's a learning experience, and I feel like we learned that we have the guys to do what we need to do. Now we just have to believe the standard that has now been set on defense, and now we just got to capitalize on it and work on it. And going into this fall camp, I'm really excited to see how this team moves forward, because we got all the great guys in position to make plays. Coach Collins is going to put us in position to make plays. We got all the people where they needed to be. A lot of people's going to be healthy, and so all we can do is just wait until game one and we'll see how UNC does, and I feel like we're going to do a great job.
Outside of Omarion, who's that guy in practice that just brings out the best in you going up against him?
Trey Green. Honestly, he's our right tackle. He definitely brings out the best in me, because even with him, man, he's gotten so much better. He's taking care of his body. He's gotten his footwork right. Like, he has taken his ownership as a leader of the offensive line, even at a young age. And so this has been a long time coming from him. He's been one of the guys, even when he first came in, he's one of those guys to where I was excited when he officially taps into his true potential, that he's really going to start making noises for our offensive line, and now he's getting closer and closer to hitting that. And when we go at it, man, it's nothing short of competition, and I love it out of him. He's building confidence. He's getting faster, stronger. He's getting more quick, and that's a dangerous dude when you have somebody at 6'7", 340 pounds moving like that. And so, with him doing that, man, I'm ready for him to have a breakout season as an offensive tackle this year.
I appreciate it.
Is there a personal reason why you decided to change your number this season?
The reason why I changed my number is, I wanted to continue to honor my dad. I remember wearing 7 as a junior in high school. And, obviously due to the fact that I came across a lot of older guys in college, I didn't have the opportunity to get 7, but when I found out it opened up, I had no choice but to get it. And so also in the Bible, it says that the 7 is the number of completion. And it's no coincidence that I'm in my last and final year as a 5th-year senior. It's only right to go out with the number 7. So it's not only just to honor my dad, but it's also to honor Jesus Christ as well, because he's the reason why I'm in this position today.
And I see you have Keep Chopping on your wrist as a bracelet. Is there a meaning behind that? I understand you nickname yourself the Butcher. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Keep chopping is something that my dad has constantly instilled in me at a very young age, just to resemble the resiliency that's been going on in my life, whether that is just the ups and downs of life, dealing with anything physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, or whether it was dealing with my recruiting or just things that are happening right now. It's just a good morning and good night reminder just to keep chopping, just to keep pushing any adversity that I have going on in my life. It's only temporary. The storm is always going to pass, and just understanding that the tree is going to fall eventually, so I always have to keep chopping no matter what that is. Thank you.
I had a question. When you went to the high school, it was a high school or middle school?
I went to elementary school.
Elementary school.
Yeah.
And what were some of the best reactions you got?
It really wasn't a lot of questions relating to hygiene. It was more so my football ability. But I know the kids, they they enjoyed it, man. Just to have somebody to give back to them, just that took time out of their day to really enjoy being with them, because I know there's a lot of kids in that area that they're not given a lot, and so for me just to give them something small. And just to see the smile on their faces, to conversate with them and stuff like that, it brings the joy to my heart. And it's not that I do it for any incentives. I don't do it for any financial reasons. I don't do it for anything. I do it because out of the kindness of my heart. I feel like God has put me on this earth to serve and to help people and to serve my community. And I feel like that's just one thing that I can do just to fulfill the purpose that God has had in my life.
I'm a believer, so I appreciate when other believers express their faith. Have you found that it's had an effect on some of the folks you've talked? And is there any example of it where you expressing your faith has brought somebody closer to God?
Yeah, man. I mean, just the people that comment underneath my stuff, because I also post on my social media. I do like devotions as well. And so just like even somebody like just talking about someone like EJ Manuel follows me, and he even tunes into my devotions as well, and that means a lot, because it's just like with him, like obviously he was a stud of a quarterback. Now he's being an analyst, doing his thing, doing a great job, and he tunes into my devotions. And so I know if I'm reaching somebody like him that's as big time as he is, I know I'm reaching